today, in 6th grade, we are going to sit down in one of our FTLAs and Skype with Lieutenant Colonel Bruce Bredlow, who also happens to be my brother-in-law, and he specializes in training and preparing soldiers to go and what to look for with post-traumatic stress disorder, and then upon their return from war. So he's going to Skype with us and give us some information about that. We in language arts in all of 6th grade, we're currently reading the novel Soldier's Heart by Gary Paulsen, and it's a historical fiction book about a man named Charlie Goddard who is from Winona, Minnesota, and during the Civil War he went and he fought in the Civil War, and so they documented the novel and wanted to share some of the events that took place during the Civil War and Charlie Goddard's life and some of the after effects of fighting in a war.
First, I just want to say I'm very excited to talk to you guys today. I think this could be a very good discussion, and if you have any questions, please raise your hand and go see Ms. McRae so you can ask them. That's the whole point of what we're doing today.
In the novel, Gary Paulsen, this is the novel Soldier's Heart, he mentions there was post-traumatic stress disorder in the Civil War. There was post-traumatic stress disorder in World War I and World War II. It was just called something different. In the Civil War, it was called Soldier's Heart, hence the novel. And in World War I, it was called shell shock, and in World War II, it was called battle fatigue. And now students know it as PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. And so we're just going to teach these kids and educate them a little bit more on what's happening from a real life, someone who's experienced it, someone who works with soldiers and has a better understanding of it.
The reason I want to point that out is that you can have post-traumatic stress, meaning you have issues from it, you have to recover from it, you may have nightmares, but you can also have post-traumatic growth.
When I initially addressed my students, I was hoping we could speak to him. My brother-in-law is stationed in Naples, Italy. They are going to be moving to the United States this summer for another tour, or for his next location, and he is here currently in Kansas. So when I initially asked him, I said, Bruce, would you be willing to drive up to Austin to speak to our students in person? He couldn't do that with his schedule, but he said, can we Skype?
Hi, I'm Grace, and I was wondering what age you decided to join the Army and what made you decide to join the Army?
Okay. Well, it's kind of an interesting question. I actually enlisted in the Army when I was 17.
And because we're at IJ Holton, because we have the technology in our building, we are able to do that. And we're able to allow students to see him in person via Skype.
Questionnaires and talk to somebody if necessary to try and identify that if they've had post-traumatic stress or gone through traumatic events, we can identify it much earlier and get them the treatment that they need.
I think students have a better connection with this novel right now, not only because it's Minnesota-based. It begins in Minnesota. It's a soldier from Minnesota, but it's a soldier from southern Minnesota. It's a soldier from southeast Minnesota in Winona. Several of our students have been to Winona before. Several of them have seen Winona. So when I talked about he's from Winona, they were able to really think, whoa, this is real. Like, this actually happened. This is from someone in a place that I've been. I can see that. And then to be able to have someone talk to them via Skype about the real life things, addressing any questions that they have on the spot right now, they're going to make a much more personal connection with it.